Hi guys, this is Jackie from techjackie.com and welcome you to another video on SEO. In today's video, I'd like to discuss on a rather much more general topics with regards to SEO. That is niche sites versus authority site. Which one should you go for, especially if you're a blogger? Well, this particular topic, I was asked by many of the people earlier that they're running a niche site, but in the recent years, they're being outranked by big authority sites, so they started questioning whether they should turn their site into authority sites or they should continue running their niche site. So in this video, I'd like to discuss on this particular topic and conclude as to which one you should actually go for. So let me just start off with the definition for these two. Let's start off with the niche site here. So a niche site is basically any website dedicated to a very specific audience and a group with specific interests, right? And an authority site is a website dedicated to various larger topics in which each topic on the site may or may not be related to each other. So for example, when you talk about an authority site, let me just first talk about authority site. Like there's this particular site called bodybuilding.com, right? It's a very big authority site in the health industry. So when you actually go to this site, you will see that the site has various sections on itself. Like for example, the protein, the performance, weight management, vitamins and health, including accessories. And in each main categories, they also have further broken it down into subcategories. As you can see, like in proteins, they've got whey protein, weight gainers, casein proteins, right? All these stuff, and then in each categories there. So this is generally authority sites in a health space, right? But each and every topics in their sites are related to each other. So as I mentioned here, each topic may or may not be related to each other. Now, what are the let me just show you an example of another site which is actually an authority site as well, but the site like none of the topics on the sites are actually related to each other. So there's this particular site called the odysseyonline.com. If you go to the site, you'll see that it's a very big authority site with lots of content and lots of backlinks and domain authority, something like that. And when you actually click on this menu, and you'll see that there are different section on the site, like for example, lifestyle, health and wellness, student life stuff, entertainment. So these categories which they have are unrelated to each other in this case, as you can see here. I like this particular site, right? So basically all the general niche sites is which are authoritative are kind of like this, right? And all the good authoritative sites will always have a related topics in its own site. And when it comes to niche site, let me instead of, let's say you're in a health space, instead of writing about different categories like this, you may pick any of the categories, right? Like for example, you're in a health space, and when you further niche down, you will let's say you write just about protein, right? So any of these categories can be turned into one specific niche, right? Like there's a protein niche, and let's say there's a performance niche, right, which basically deals with different kind of exercises. There's even a weight management niche, right? And for each categories or niche, you can even further break it down. Like for example, if you want to niche down further, you would want to talk about just whey protein, right? Like different things related to whey proteins, something like that. So niche site, you can break it down to as down as possible, right, with regards to niche site. And authority site, you can as well as expand it to as much as you want as well. So this bit generally what is a niche site and what is an authority site. Now coming to an advantage and disadvantage for each, let me just start off with the niche site here. So number one, what's the advantage of having a niche site or running a niche site? Number one, it's easier to manage, right? Like when you're talking just about a particular or specific niche or topic, then you kind of makes it much easier for you to manage, right? Like you basically don't have to, let's say, hire many writers, or you don't basically need a large amount of content, right, in order to rank. For you're just focusing for a specific group of topics, something like that. So this is the first advantage. And the second one is you're being termed as specialized, right? You're termed as specialized in the topic, specialized in the topic. So for example, people may refer to you as being specialized, let's say about protein, right, or just weight loss or something like that. So you will be always referred to as an expert in any specific field, right? Which instead of just focusing on different topics, let's say in the health space, right, you're just focusing on a particular specific things, which makes you become an expert in that field. And third, one of the biggest advantages as well, and that is you tend to rank higher in particular topic, right? So you tend to rank higher in a particular topic. This is a concept which basically deals with topical relevancy, right, which I've been talking a lot at my channel as well, which basically means what your general website theme is all about, right? So Google always try to rank a site with a specific topics higher than a site which generally talks about everything, right? So let's say your site just talks about protein. In this case, let's say just about whey protein, right? If we further niche it down, then if your site just talks about whey protein, and when you come against this particular site, even though this site is much more authoritative than yours, but since your site is all about whey protein, so if you want to rank for anything related to protein, then you have a higher chance of outranking a big sites like this. Like there's a very high chance in this case, because Google loves ranking a site with a specific knowledge there. So this is also a very big advantage when you're running a niche site, right? Okay, so what about having it, if you're running an authority site, what would be your advantage? So number one, the advantage is more traffic, right? More traffic, more sales. Obviously, when you're running an authority site, you will have lots of content, and lots of contents mean lots of keywords, and ranking for more keywords means open more opportunities for more sales, right? So that's generally the first and important advantage of authority site. Now, what's the second advantage here? You're an authority in a field, right? In a field that is a larger field in this case. So like for example, this bodybuilding.com is being termed as an authority in a health space, right? Like whereas let's say you're running just about whey protein, then you're just being termed as an expert or authority in, let's say, in just whey protein space. But when you're having an authority site, let's say in a health space, and then you'll be recognized as being a much more expert than that. Then yeah, that's basically all the advantage that authority sites would have, right? Then let me just write down another one, that is more opportunities to make money as well. So as you can see here, in this case, this particular site talks about various things, right? So let's say if you're not you're not interested in running anything about health topic, you may want to jump into, let's say, a lifestyle. You may start writing about lifestyle articles that you may quickly rank for those, right? So there's always higher opportunities for you to make money off an authority site, because generally the content will rank much higher, right, when it comes to authority sites. So hope you're getting the point here. Now coming to the disadvantage of niche site and authority site. So starting off, the first one is lesser money making opportunity, right? Money making opportunity. So as I said, when you're running an authority site, your content will rank much higher regardless of whatever the topics you're running in. But when it comes to a niche site, let's say you're running just about whey protein, right? You're talking about whey protein, and suddenly one day you're interested in, let's say, talking about bodybuilding, right, or maybe any type of exercise. Just go ahead and write for that article, and I bet you won't even rank in the first 100 positions for sure if you're a niche sites, right? So there's always be a lesser money making opportunity for niche site, right? And also less growth as well. So when there's a less making money opportunity, there's a less growth associated with it. Like you basically can't expand much out of your specific topic, right, when it comes to niche sites. So that's another disadvantage as well when it comes to niche site. And third, you may also have less traffic, right? Have lesser traffic in some area, right? In some area, because even though you will have lots of trust from Google, but at the end of the day, an authority site may outrank you in some particular, let's say, keyword or something like that, right? Like for example, this particular site, which in each and every topic of theirs are fully related to each other, they may sometimes outrank you as well. So there's a high chance of you being outranked by an authority site as well. Now when it comes to authority site, there's obviously a lot more advantage to this as well. So for example, when it comes to authority site, you have to basically need more money, right? Need more money to maintain. So obviously when you're running a big sites like this, more money has to be spent, let's say, in the content, right, in the backlinks, and in the in the people, right, like the people who manage the website, like all kind of stuff. So that's obviously the first and foremost disadvantage of any authority site. Now what else is another disadvantage in this case? So again, you may have a chance of ranking above niche specific site. You may also have a chance of being outranked in specific area or topic, right? As I said, some niche site will always be trusted by Google when the site talks about any particular topics, right? So obviously if you're running a site like this particular site, which has no related topics to each other, definitely if a lifestyle site come and go against this site, that lifestyle site will definitely rank higher, because as you can see here, none of these topics are related to each other, and this lifestyle is just one section of the site, whereas your site overall thing is about lifestyle, right? So it is another drawback of having like a general niche site, authority niche site in this case, right? So that's all for the advantage and disadvantage for both. Now let's come to the conclusion, like which one should you go for? Obviously when you're starting out, you have to always start with something specific, right? So when starting, always go specific. This is the first and foremost thing. You have to always be specific when starting out. Focus on one particular topic and then slowly expand once you start getting an authority. So your ultimate goal should always strive to be an authority site, but whenever you're starting out, you should always try to be specific, right? So when starting, always go specific and slowly expand as you grow, right? Your ultimate goal should always strive for authorities, or being an authority site, because obviously the end goal of any blogger is to basically make more money online, right? So with an authority site, you generally will get a higher chance of making money, and that's what the things that you should always strive for, being an authority site. But when starting out, always go specific and slowly building the trust that Google is looking for in each particular topic, and ultimately you will become an authority once you start growing. So that's all for this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. And if you have any questions that you would like me to discuss upon or touch on any topic, make sure you comment down the comment section down below as well, and I'll make a video on that. And That's all for it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.